streaming using Workhouse.
So that's using a software encoder called the Workhouse. Once again, there are other options out there. You can use vMix, OBS, XSplit, anything that is a software encoder. Now, in addition, you can also use a hardware encoder. So several companies use it. There's Matrox, who they have several products. The Monarch series. There's a HD. There's a Monarch. There's a Monarch HD, and then there's a Monarch LCS for lecture series. I think it streams 2 different streams, and that's the big difference between those products. LiveView has a Solo. It's called LiveView Solo. The nice thing about that product, it has multiple network connections. So you have Ethernet connection, but also could connect through wireless, and then it has 2 USB modems. And the nice thing about that is actually it aggregates all those network connections. So even if you were to lose one, you could still stream. Let's say, for example, you lose the Ethernet connection, you still have your wireless and you still have your USB modems. So the live view is perfect. You know, if you want to do live streaming on the go, whether you're on a park, on the beach, anywhere where there's no hardware connection. Now, Osprey has the Talon G1, AJA the Hilo, and then Epiphone has several hardware encoders as well. And you could also use a generic hardware encoder. I bought this from across the pond. It's just a small hardware encoder, and it has a Ethernet connection, it has an audio input, a stereo input, 3.5 millimeter, and then there's HDMI input up to 1080, 30 frames per second, and it has a HDMI output for those who want to monitor. So you could connect a monitor or a screen to this, and you can monitor your streaming. In the back, it's just the power, 12 volts, and that's it. It's fairly small, and I've tested this for hours. It's been flawless, no problems at all, and it stays pretty cool. It's not hot at all. I mean, you could put your bare foot on this and you won't even feel it. So pretty good product. So that's another way of doing it, using a hardware encoder. Or you can use FFmpeg. Now FFmpeg is it's a command line tool for recording and for converting files and also for streaming. So in this example on their website, you can see they are converting an MP4 into an AVI. There's not a lot of options or switches here. It's just basically take the input .mp4 and convert it to output AVI without changing bit rates, without changing screen resolutions, anything like that. But it is possible. You have to put it on the command line using all the different switches and all the different options that is available on FFmpeg. In addition, you could also record your desktop or a camera to using FFmpeg. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to do and how to use FFmpeg. Let's see. We're going to use our terminal here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to record the desktop. So I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to copy this file. So basically we're saying FFmpeg use the AV Foundation, which is specific to Mac systems. Now it may be different on your systems. And then -I is the first one is the video input and then the audio output. So I'm using number 3, which is this particular screen that you're looking at, and record that, and then we're going to use we record it for 15 seconds. That's the -T. The screen size is going to be 1280 by 720, and then 30 frames per second, and then the bit rate on the video is 3500K kilobits per second, 3.5 megs basically, and then 128K for audio. And then the output is going to be out.mpg. So we're going to go ahead and do that. then we're gonna overwrite because there's already a file there before. So now it's actually going to record this. I'm gonna move this so you can see it on the recording. It's gonna record for obviously 15 seconds because we told it so to record 15 seconds. So I'm gonna open up that file now and then play it. And just drag it here so you can see it. So now we have a recording of using FFmpeg. So I'm just going to play it. Now it's actually going to record. And you should be able to hear some audio maybe, and then there it is. You could also see me move that window. So it does work using FFmpeg. So that's recording the desktop. What we're going to do next is we're going to record the camera. So we're just going to clear all our terminal, and instead of our source being a desktop, we're going to change it to the camera that we're recording right now. You're looking at. So we're going to record that. Overwrite again. And then I'm going to wait to the camera. No. Should be able to hear some audio and might be some feedback as well, or some looping. And so it's going to record it for about 15 seconds. It's done. We're going to open up the file and then play it. You're going to hear some audio looping. And I'm going to wait for the camera. It takes a few seconds to hear some audio. Might be something nearby. You should be able to see my hands moving. So it's going to record it for about 15 seconds. And it's done. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is, the fun part, is we're going to go back to our streaming server. We're going to use the FFmpeg to stream a file. Not just any file. It could be on my local computer.